test ride on the old 890 Adventure R. We give it a spin here in a couple minutes, see how I like it compared to the Tenere.
Down that Austrian goodness.
No.
I took them on the off-road section.
Alright guys, riding a 12 or an 890R Adventure R KTM 2023. Going out for a little demo here at Americade. Alright, so like I said, we're riding a 2023 Super Adventure R, or not, or Adventure R 890. Here we go. First demo ride of the Americade event. Trying to compare this to my Tenere 700. It's got more horsepower, but a higher price tag. More features, but a higher price tag. So, but power-wise, it's very similar. Ooh, didn't like that. Squeeze the front brake, very clunky. I don't know if that's because it's a demo model, but forks feel very clunky. Interesting.
For the instructions, you could go up to there.
Got a guy telling me how to ride. Doesn't even work for KTM. Traffic of Americade. I think they have somebody doing traffic. Guess I'm gonna fall in the correct line. This guy seems a bit nervous. He doesn't seem to know how riding in a group works, but that's okay. Don't know his skill level, so I will let him okay, no idea what that bike just did, but basically it cut power twice when I tried to accelerate. This could be a very weird demo ride. Interesting. Power-wise though, from what it has given me, has been, I don't know, haven't really opened it up enough. It feels peppier than the Tenere, definitely. Feels like, you know, you got more under your wrist, if that makes sense. Ergonomics-wise, definitely a nicer seat than the Tenere. It's wider for sure. Tenere feels more dirt bike-ish. This feels more like an adventure bike, where it's a little bit wider, a little bit bigger. Ran the yellow there to stay with the group, but the rest of the group got beat out. Yeah, I don't know what this thing's doing, but it's like it decides when, like, it's controlling the throttle by itself. Like I give it gas and it lurches, and then it's cut, you know. I don't know if you just have to keep it revved higher. Obviously I would like to, but I'm in second gear lugging it because we're doing 19 miles an hour in this group. There's cars now behind us. The rest of the group got separated. That's okay. Here's Graham on the same bike. Wonder what his thoughts will be afterwards. We'll get those. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, more feature filled. Drop down the first and see if we can actually wind through the gears. Little merge here. We're going like 20 miles an hour because the group got separated. Now there's a whole slew of cars. fine. But not much of a test ride. Now we have a van behind us. It definitely has power, more power than definitely has more power than Tracer. I can feel that, but you know, I think you pay for it. I can tell you right now, I notice my left leg is on fire. My left leg is cooking, and it could be because we're doing 30 miles an hour and have been for a little while. Back brakes seem really good, but yeah, we're just like putting there. It's probably really good in the woods. It feels very light and nimble. Bike's going by. Looks like we got the rest of the group together. Now we'll take off. But yeah. Seems to have a quick shifter. Engine braking is good. Feels about standard amongst the industry in this type of bike. Very light in the corners. Very, very light, even for a somewhat knobbier tire. You can definitely tell you can throw this thing around quite easily. Very nimble. Feels very similar to the Tenere, dirt bike-ish. Very narrow feeling. Do have a little bit more body work in front of your knees. Definitely a lot less wind on your knees, which is probably helping with the, or not helping with the heat that I'm feeling. My knees are getting very, very warm. I feel like I am sitting on a furnace. Obviously KTMs are known for their suspension. This one's very good, soaking up all the bumps. This road is very chewed up and I can't really feel anything. That was a big bump there. Felt great. So yeah, give it a +1 for the suspension. What I would expect it to for the price point. This bike is almost $4,000 starting price over the Tenere. I'm sure there's closer bikes you can compare it to, but I'm just comparing it to the Tenere because that's what I have, or I own, to compare it to. I don't want to compare it to a bike I don't own. Definitely feels like it's more set up for longer distance. I do feel one of the big things I notice is everything in front of me, like the dash, gauges, handlebar setup, feels a lot lower. I feel like I'm more in the Tenere because I have a lot more in front of me. They call it the tower with the gauges on the Tenere, where this one I feel like they're below me, like I'm on more of a sport bike. I feel like I'm up higher, but it's probably not. I'm not actually up higher because I can touch just about the same on both bikes. What I notice is I feel that I'm on top of the bike versus in it. Seat is better, definitely, now that we've been going for a couple miles here. Seat is definitely better factory on this bike. Would I buy this bike? I don't know yet. That I don't know. No, engine is a bit noisy. I will say that. You guys probably can't hear that on the camera, but I can hear all the little ticks and rattles that it's making. I know a lot of people think that that's character, which, you know, that's fine if you do. I'm more of a fan of quiet engines, or engines that have a distinct sound that all of them have. This one probably has it. And this is the first time I've ever ridden one of these, so I couldn't tell. Oh, front brakes are very good. Get grabbed a little there to slow up on the roll to the guys in front of me, but they're very, very good. Very aggressive. Grab very hard, which I like. Mirrors I think are a bit goofy. You know, you have this bike that's all angles and then you drop on some circles. They just don't fit. They look like moped mirrors. That's one complaint I have. Lighting wise, don't know, not riding it at night, but they seem to have good lighting. I can see Graham's tail light. He's on the same bike. Clear, bright. You can see when he's on the brake there. And every other KTM in front of me seems to be the same, so Gauges are nice, TFT, beautiful colors. Sun's out, it's not washing out like some other bikes do. Yeah, definitely has a quick shifter. That shift was way too smooth if it wasn't a quick shifter. You know, I'm trying to rev match it, but that was way too smooth, so that was definitely a quick shifter, flipping the throttle and cutting the ignition. Wind-wise, I actually have a decent amount of wind protection, even with this short shield. I don't feel much other than the very top of my head. I feel a little bit of wind. Just a tad coming through, so that's good. It's a hot day, so I kind of want the wind. But if you're on a long trip, it's pretty good. We're only doing 40 here on the back roads. We're not on the highway or anything. I think this route does get on the highway, if I remember it from last year. So we should be good there. Yeah, handling is wonderful. Handling is absolutely beautiful. This thing handles like a dream, actually. Little back brake drag here as we come up quick in the corners. Looks like we are getting on the highway. Throw the blinker on. Yep, downshifts are smooth. Yep, quick shifter for sure. Oh no, we're actually not getting on the highway. We're getting on the back road next to the highway. Power-wise, let's see how she does. See? I don't know, I'm wondering if maybe my foot is just so ever so sensitively touching that shifter. Because, you know, you're getting ready to shift. Now, see there, I'm resting my foot. I am resting my actual foot on the shifter and even applying a little upward pressure, and it's not cutting the throttle. So I don't know what that throttle cutout is. That's the third or fourth time it's already happened to me on this ride. Very interesting. I don't like that. That's obviously an issue. Definitely not made to be that way for sure. That's very, you know, I was bracing myself for the acceleration, and it cut throttle completely on me. Gave me a good bump. And I know this isn't the perfect optimization or optimized riding conditions because we're in a big group that's going quite slow through these back roads. Oh, it looks like Tony's just did the same thing. Looks like he cut out. He was accelerating and I saw him physically buck there. So I wonder if his is doing the same thing. Tony's test ride, when Tony test rides the bike, he is very particular. It has to win him over immediately or else he gets very upset. He doesn't like bikes that show him any sort of issue on a test ride. Where I'm a little bit more, could be this specific one, you know, demo bikes, they're beaten on by every other Dick and Harry that's riding these things, so I don't take it with more than a grain of salt. Keeping the RPMs a little bit higher here, staying in second, 5,000 RPM. A lot of engine braking going on when you let off the throttle. Clutch pull's a little heavier than I feel than the Tenere. A little heavier. Not bad though. You really got to wind this thing up to get it moving. It doesn't. Oh, his is definitely doing it. He is shaking his head. His is definitely cutting power. I don't. So it's not me just resting my foot on that lever. Because I tried that didn't cut the throttle, and Tony's having the same problem. And he's more of a relaxed foot type rider. You can see his feet are both down, where I have my feet kind of like hovering the brake and shifter, more of like an aggressive riding style. So for us to both be having the same problem on the same model, I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a glitch in the software. Maybe KTM owners, if you're watching this, chime in. If it happens to you, that I don't know. But yeah, can't get over how sharp that TFT is. That's gorgeous. Beautiful colors, and it's so sharp. Every edge is very sharp, very high resolution. Downshift into the corner, even though the group's going kind of slow. Nice twisty section here. Grab another gear. It hasn't done the throttle thing in quite a little bit, so I don't know, maybe it's just some sort of conditions it's got to be in, but I've had it happen 4 times, so. Very off the throttle. Alright. Heat is still out there. It's my watch is reading 84 degrees. It's kind of humid. Some storms rolled through a little while ago, but it's definitely a hot bike for sure. I can feel a lot of air. Seat is comfy. It's a little bit firm, definitely comfy, but the longer we go here, the more I realize it's a little bit of a firm seat. It doesn't have as much give as some other seats I've tried. Sound is good. Actually, for a stock bike, it actually sounds pretty good. I'll give it a plus for that. Yeah, styling is cool, other than these mirrors. Comfort, I'll go right down the middle. I've ridden worse, I've ridden better. Power-wise, it's what you'd expect. We are crawling. I don't know what's going on here, but we are crawling down this mountain. We're doing 28 miles an hour and the speed limit's 35. So I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know if this is normal or not. Maybe because the road's so chewed up. You don't know on these group rides what your skill level with these people are going out, Like the guy behind me seems a tad nervous. Seems a little bit getting used to the bike, which I get. Not knocking anybody. Ohio does a weird way to do their plates here for manufacturers. They're all the same number with a different small number next to them. Interesting. Never seen that before. Hopefully the audio's coming out good for you guys. We're trying a new mic setup. We searched around the internet for the best moto vlogging style mic here, and I hope I set it up right. This is our first time doing it. Hopefully there's no wind noise. I got the windsock on the mic and it's inside the helmet, whereas the GoPro's obviously on the outside. A little bit of vibration coming through the bars. My hands actually are feeling the vibration quite a bit. A little bit of numbing sensation in the fingertips. Ass is a little, I wouldn't say sore because we haven't been riding long enough to be sore, but I can feel that it's not quite the right shape for me. But that's okay. Can't be for everybody. That's why they sell aftermarket ones. Windshield's still good. I think it's because I want the wind. But like I said, it's right on the top of my head. I'm 6 foot tall, so. I don't know how to change the modes here. I'm in road mode. I know these things, they give you a trial period. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't think it's cool that they let you tease you with the software, but I guess that's the way of the world. Cars are doing that, going to that. Bikes are going to that. I guess it is what it is, but not a fan. Well, we came back the same way we went out apparently, because here's the road we turned in on. I do wish we got a little bit of highway, but it's okay. What was that warning sign? I just saw a quick flash of a warning sign. Neutral. Jeez Louise. Alright, so final summary. Looks are great other than the mirrors. Comfort, right down the middle. I've ridden worse, I've ridden better. Power, pretty good for its size, for an 890. Or small, this feels fast. It's definitely faster than my Tenere, no question. Oh, we're moving over. TFT electronics are probably good as long as they stay working. I know sometimes that could be sketchy. Weird clunk in the front when you grab the front suspension. Front forks feel a little weird. I can just about tippy toe. I'm not sure what the seat height is on this model, but I can just about tippy toe. Seating position is actually really comfortable, like where my bars are to my arms and everything. That's all right. Sound is good. Thanks for Graham for revving that up. Brakes are really good. Handling is really good. Would I pay $16 for it? No. Definite no. I feel like a Tenere with a pipe and some accessories to make it your own is more fun. Fun factor. Granted, you know, take it with a grain of salt. We are on a demo ride here. It's not like I'm out riding this thing by myself and curving up the twisties and everything. We were doing 35 at one point in the back roads there. So I give it out of 10. I give it 7.5 to 8, somewhere in that range, which is pretty good. But I personally wouldn't buy it, and that is only because a bike has to wow me. It's got to be, and I'm not one of those people that's purely wowed by horsepower. I'm wowed by how it feels, how it sounds, how it responds. And this one just feels like a adventure bike. It doesn't, nothing's wowing me about it. I'm not like, wow, this power is amazing. I'm not like, wow, the comfort's there. It just feels like a good suspension, decent power, decent looks. It's just decent. It's a decent bike, but I wouldn't pay $16 for it. That's just me. But that's, you know, some people have different financial situations. You know, they could have money to play with, and they could say, you know, I don't care about 16's nothing compared to Harleys and 1290 Adventures and all that sort of thing. So this could be a bargain bike for them. Me personally, I have 5 already. I have a lot of bikes, and I would need to really justify owning one of these, and I don't think I could with what you get. I'd rather pay 11 and have a little bit less, and that's kind of what I did. And I think I'm glad that I would stick with my decision. I don't need, you're going in the woods, I don't need all these modes and crap like that. And I will ding some points though for the heat, just sitting here at this red light. Whew. This is a hot bike. Holy cow. I just feel the heat radiating up. This is one hot. Whew. It's mushing up my brain. It's so damn hot. I wish I could tell what the air temp around me was, because yeah, that just jumped it from 84 to 87 after sitting at that red light. I wonder how high it would actually jump if I sat there a little longer. But my whole inside of my legs, both sides, up and down them, I'm just cooking. My ass is hot. It's definitely a hot bike. But yeah, that's it. We're pulling back here in, and thanks for watching. We appreciate every one of you. If there's a different bike you want to see me ride, I know we put a poll out. What the hell is that? Look at that thing. Wow. Bike Week, Americade, got to ride an 890 Adventure R. It's a good little bike. If you're looking interested in one, definitely check it out. Try it. It's not something you should make your purchasing decision off of my input, because I always have said that for as long as I've been riding. You have to ride a bike. You know, the 2 bikes I own aren't for Devin and Graham, and the bikes they own aren't for me. So it's, everybody has a different opinion, and that's totally fine. That's what makes biking cool. Everybody gets their own style, you know. And but for me, 890 is not for me, but I can see why it would be for some people. All right, thanks for coming along.